Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Theorist, here with your host, Vanity Pride. I am back after my nearly month-long hiatus, but yeah, so I hope you guys didn't miss me too much. I hope you guys had amazing holidays and, celebrated the new year, whether it was at a house party or going out somewhere, hopefully you had fun, you were safe, and 2019, it's so crazy. It's so funny because I'm still like behind on things. Like I haven't really gotten to my resolutions all that much. I was wanting to do more writing, which I haven't gotten around to it, but I actually made posts about that earlier today, which is really funny. So or I guess yesterday. Uh But anyway, I am looking forward to finishing up that Komaegi one shot that I was writing and posting that, and then I still have that Fuyupako one to post as well. And then aside from that, I was gonna say something and I totally forgot. But I guess since we are talking Danganronpa, so yesterday or 2 days ago, I went ahead and posted the Danganronpa V3 predictions, talking about the characters, our impressions of them. I did a video of that with my guy bestie, so if you guys want to check that out, that is on the channel. So I did promise you a twofer this week, so of course, part of the twofer was the Danganronpa thing that I was talking about. And then, of course, Tower of God, as we always do. And then I know I had talked about doing like my review of Ultra Despair Girls, which I never got around to. I'm kind of debating if I want to do it at this rate. I did kind of do a shout out when we were talking about DRV3. But anyway, this video is about Tower of God, so we'll get right to it. I finally got caught up with it yesterday, and, I jotted down my thoughts to each chapter. I don't have much to predict on anything. I mean, it was really hard for me to predict anything with 333 and 334, but 335, like, I could still try and come up with something. I guess if I were to predict anything, it would be about the creator of the, this floor that we're on. I forget his name right now, which I should probably try and look up. But you guys know who I'm talking about. The dude who's like the father of the twins. Like the girl wanted to help out and then the brother was kind of a douche and I poked fun at his ass. But yeah, like the dad has just gone completely insane and I'm like, dude, like, I don't even know. He is on a list of people that I hated these past few chapters. SIU did a very good job of making me hate characters this time around. So anyway, we'll just jump right into it. So we'll focus first on chapter 333, which of course was, under the Calavan arc still. Oh, I do have a theory, but I will talk about that at the end of the video, speaking of the Calavan arc. But anyway, 44th floor, last station, Calavan. So we're on part 7 with chapter 333. So the thoughts that I got from this chapter was that I hated Calavan's ass so much. I have never hated a character more in Tower of God, or ever, I feel. Even like, because I hate Naraku from Inuyasha, like, with a passion, especially because he killed off one of my favorite characters, so I'm just like, fuck you, dude. But I feel like I hate Calavan more. And I despise him more than Rachel, which is saying a lot. I mean, yeah, I'm a Rachel defender. I'm probably gonna get a dislike on my video for that, but that's okay. But yeah, no, I cannot stand this dude. I liked this dude at the beginning. I almost said love, but nah. The love is reserved for Kun and Kun alone. But anyway, I was very intrigued with Calavan's character, and then he just does all these shitty things, and I'm like, dude, I cannot stand your ass anymore. Like, you need to die. You need to go away. I don't like you. So, as I said here, I just need Bomb to use the motivation of avenging Jinsung's death to kill this motherfucker's ass. Like, seriously, y'all don't know how much I hate Calavan. Well, you could probably see with how passionate I am about it right now. I'm not saying as many ums talking about this dude. So maybe he's my motivation to stop saying and like so much in videos. But anyway, this dude had the gall to be like, oh, it hurt me to kill Jinsung and, you know, rip apart his arms with my own two hands. And I'm like, if you feel any type of remorse, why would you brag about that? It just hit me, like, it just rubbed me the wrong way. And I was just like, oh, like, I cannot stand this dude. Oh my gosh, like, I just need him to die. Like, this whole chapter, I was just like, cussing him out and just so fed up with him. And then, dude, I mean, even Baum got fed up because he said bullshit, okay? He was like, cut the bullshit, which it takes Baum quite a bit for him to lose his cool. And for him to just say that really says a lot. Like, he's beyond pissed. He wants revenge so bad for his master, for his teacher, right? So I'm just like, damn, like, even Baum is fed up with this dude, you know? And then the last thing about chapter 333 was the flashback that Baum had with about Jinsung. And, you know, just seeing, like, the artwork or the panels where Baum was, like, shedding tears, like, that honestly got me close to being teary-eyed. Not gonna lie, like, I was like, oh no, my poor baby, like, I need him to avenge Jinsung. Because, like, at this point I was like, well, shit, like, Jinsung's dead, which we know he's not. Spoiler, I guess, for anyone who's not caught up. I'm pretty sure everyone's caught up at this point. But yeah, no, like, this chapter and then the next one, 334, like, I was just like, oh my gosh, like, Jinsung is dead. Like, holy fuck. Like, oh my gosh. Okay. So, speaking of 334, we'll just jump right into that as well. So, like I said before, SIU knows how to piss me off because there were several people added to my list of I hate them. So, kudos to you, SIU. I don't like it all that much, but kudos nonetheless. You make characters very dislikable, and I think that's like an awesome trait to have, though. Like, if I ever, you know, get around to actually completing a story, and especially if I write about a character that I want people to hate, like, I want to be able to write a villain or an unlikable character really well, because I think that's, like, awesome. I think that's kind of why I, like, have a fascination with villains. Especially, I'm like, ooh, like, if they get their way, like, oh, like, dude, awesome. Sometimes. It depends on the villain. It just depends on the context and whatnot. But, yeah, like, you know, that's what I love about, you know, certain villains or antagonists, I guess is a better term. You know, when they're written so well that you just hate them. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I know I said I hate Naraku, but he's actually written quite well. I mean, frickin' Rumiko knew what she was doing by writing that character and making me hate him so much. But anyway, back to Tower of God. So, when Calivan struck at Baum, I was pretty pissed. I was like, shit. I was like, I needed Baum to, like, put a move on Calivan. I didn't need the other way around to happen. And then I was worried for Andrasi because she was right next to Baum when this happened. And so I was like, if this motherfucker Calivan lays one damn finger on her, I will throw my laptop across the room. Like, these were my thoughts, and I was like, oh my gosh, I hope he doesn't lay a finger so I don't do it. Even if he did, I probably wouldn't have done it, but I would have wanted to throw something. I probably would have thrown a water bottle across the room. I tend to say that a lot too, like if I'm watching like Dancing with the Stars or, you know, one of those competition shows and someone that I love like leaves, I'm just like, I'm gonna throw it. Alright, I'm gonna take a swig real quick. I'm just very passionate today. It's just been a while since I've recorded, you know, a Tower of God review, so I think, you know, being back into the groove of things, it just has me like all like bouncy and just like all happy and shit. Alright, anyway. Sorry for my randomness, guys. Alright, so then when Calivan was egging Baum on, I guess I could provide examples, but I mean, you guys have read this. I mean, this was so like 2 weeks ago, so I'm not gonna bother. But when Calivan was egging Baum on, I was just like, ooh, Baum, just like freaking do it already. Show him what you've got and kill his ass. And then, oh my god, what was even worse too was seeing Baum cry while this fucker was all like, oh, your attack didn't even make a scratch on me. And I actually have more on that later on. We'll get to that, and yeah. Alright, sorry, I'm getting a little nervous, guys. I don't know why. I should have read through this before recording. Probably not a good idea to admit that, but yeah. So, anyway. Oh, yeah. So, as I mentioned before, the dad, the creator of this floor, he is another person that I very much disliked this chapter, and even next chapter, of course, even worse, I dislike him. That is if I read it correctly. We'll talk more about it when we get to that point. But yeah, I'm like, this floor's purpose was to be a safe haven for regulars, you know, just like a peaceful area for everyone to, you know, reside on and all that. So I'm like, how much of an asshole can this dude be to be like, oh, I have a bomb that will set that off? And I'm like, dude, no, like, something's wrong with you. Like, if anything, I think he's possessed or something. Like, there's just no way that he's, you know, sane or himself. Like, especially if he built the floor for this reason, I think that regardless of what Zahard's orders are, he would defy that. I feel. You know, I can understand if he's afraid and, you know, he's like, oh, well, I have to obey my king's orders. Like, I kind of get that if he, you know, kind of went against the whole, like, idea of a peaceful place for regulars. But for him to just have this face and to be saying things the way he's saying them, it just doesn't ring well with me, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Because I feel like he's gone insane, to be honest, because, like I said, if he wanted the peaceful place, right, and if he was scared and he's like, oh, I have to follow Zahard's orders, I think he would have a different face and he would say things a bit differently. Like, I feel like he would even open up to Hwaryun maybe and be like, oh, I'm scared, like, you know, and then she could try and convince him, like, hey, the right thing to do is stand up for what you believe in, screw Zahard, forget about it, like, we'll help you, you know, but he doesn't do that. He does, like, the opposite. So, I don't know. This dude, that's why I despise this dude. Alright, and then Karaka showed up. You know, he's kind of blocking Bomb from Caliban. And I was so stoked, and I nearly forgot that he was also taught by Jinsung. And so I'm like, ooh, yes, I need, like, a tag team effort here. I need, Karaka and Bomb to face off against Caliban and just take him down and be done with this dude. Like, get him out of this series. Just boot him. Bye-bye. I think I'm gonna go ahead and look through the chapter here, because I think it's better for me to have these visuals as opposed to just me looking at my notes all the time. So bear with me here as I find the spot that I need to find, because I think I liked what Karaka said. Oh, okay, here, let's backtrack a little bit to this dude. Alright, so Hwaryun and Andrasi are talking, right? And then the dude shows up. The dad. Lee is their last name, I think. I don't remember his first name. Okay, anyway. So you managed to find the warp drive, huh? And of course that draws Hwaryun's attention. I should have gotten rid of that thing as soon as I found out it existed, but I didn't want to draw anyone's attention. Still, it's a good thing I installed a bomb on it. And you know, everyone's freaking out. What, a bomb? That's right, this remote control can set off the bomb I planted in it. You can't escape. I mean, like I said before, I mean, just the look on his face, the way he's talking, like, I don't even remember him looking like that, really. Like, physically, yeah, but like, just like this darkness about him just doesn't seem right. So that's why I'm saying, like, I think he's possessed or something's going on there. It's not himself acting that way. Maybe someone cast a spell on him or something. You know, anything is possible in this tower, right? So, I mean, magic could be involved. I don't know. Or hypnosis or whatever. Or he's being threatened, but, I mean, I don't know, what could he be threatened about? His kids? Like, his kids are fine. They can take care of themselves, I feel. But anyway. Back to the Karaka Bomb scene that I wanted to touch base on. So, Karaka tells Bomb, you keep making me rescue you. This is such a nuisance. And then Caliban's like, you must be a slayer. Oh, yeah, that's right. So then he starts questioning, Karaka starts questioning Caliban, like, oh, like, is he really dead? And then Caliban's like, no, but he was practically dead already. And then Karaka's like, I see, so you didn't see him die with your own eyes. And then Caliban's like, that's right. And I'm like, dude, what a fucking moron this dude is. Like, I cannot stand Caliban even more, especially with this scene. Like, this drove me so insane. I'm like, okay, like, Jinsung isn't really dead, you know, and he's like lying to Bomb. Like, that's what pissed me off the most. I'm like, Bomb is this like pure, precious child. I mean, of course, you know, he's a strong, amazing child at once as well. But I'm like, for Caliban to mess with Bomb's emotions like that is really, really fucked up. Like, Bomb's lost other friends. He's been through so much shit. And then for Caliban to throw this at him too, it's like, oh my god. This is why I hated Caliban so much too. And I already probably said that. So anyway, yeah, like, I was just like, oh, like, Caliban's a dumbass for that. I can't even speak clearly anymore. And then it was really funny because, you know, he had bragged to Bomb before, right? Like, oh, you can't even get a scratch on me. So anyway, we'll skip ahead here. So Evankel eventually shows up by Karaka's side. And so that's when he points out to Caliban, like, oh, hey, oh yeah, because Caliban's like, oh, well, why do you want to help this kid? And so then Evankel's like, oh, well, I noticed the wound, so now I'm intrigued, and now I want to help out this kid. And so Caliban's like, what are you talking about? And then Evankel's like, oh, like, you don't see that wound, like, right there, like, next to the bigger one that you have? And it's like, dude. Like, at first I was thinking, oh, he's, like, such a dumbass for not noticing, but it's like, if he's so focused on, like, throwing attacks at Bomb and trying to egg him on and, like, you know, taunt him that, oh, I killed Jinsung, then, yeah, he's not gonna notice. And then also, I mean, that big old wound that he has is gonna be much more painful and more so felt than something small, like, right next to it. So I kind of took back my dumbass comment from that one, but I still do not take back the dumbass comment about, oh, well, he wasn't really dead, but he was close to it. I'm like, dude, shut up. Like, you don't even know. Like, Jinsung can survive this, and he did. So I'm happy about that. If anything, anyone who has to take revenge against Caliban and kill his ass, it should be Jinsung. It'll be pretty rough for him to do that now, but I would love for them to meet up at a later point in the story and then just face off, and I hope Jinsung ends it and just kills off Caliban. I would love that. That would be like my stellar end for Caliban. Alright, and then the last point for 334 was Mashini is the third person on my list to be someone who I was, like, hating on. Of course, I take that back when it's 335, but, chapter 335, not the time. Yeah, 3:35 a.m., I'm gonna take back what I said about Mashini. But anyway, she talked about making it quick and painless for Jinsung, which I'm like, no, if this bitch kills him, I cannot forgive her. Like, there is no way. Because it almost seemed like she was working with him, you know, way back when in that one chapter. And then, you know, like a few chapters back, I was like, oh, like, what if she's here to, like, take him out and take out Caliban? Like, she was just using Jinsung. So I don't even know her true intentions. Like, even after 335, I'm, like, still confused with what she's trying to do. But yeah, no, I was really worried that she was gonna kill him off. And I was like, oh, no. But then I was like, well, you know, it's so hypocritical of me to be like, oh, well, quick and painless, like, she's talking about death, like, that's the immediate thought we would have. But then I was like, oh, like, you know, what if she has some healing powers and she heals him like that? Like, that would have been cool, but no, not the case. Not the case. But anyway, now we dive into 335, the last chapter that we'll be talking about in this video. And of course, we'll start with Mashini again. So her face in the beginning of this chapter was a little bit scary and a little bit crazy. And I'm like, ah, shit, like, she's gonna do it. She's gonna do it. She's gonna kill his ass. And, you know, she does unleash an attack on him. And there's screaming involved. So I was like, oh no, like, that was like Jinsung's, like, final scream and he's dead and he is no more, and I was like really bummed about it, and I was like, oh man. But like for some reason, like, you know, I felt, I don't know, like I didn't think he was dead. Like I don't think I knew it consciously, but like, you know, on the inside I was like not affected. Like, because if a favorite character of mine dies, like I get pretty affected. Like second trial of Danganronpa 2, like that crushed me. And I had to like not watch the playthrough for a few days. But then I finally gained the courage to watch it, and then, you know, one of my characters was okay, and I was like, oh, thank God. But like the other one, you know, was dead, and I was like, oh no. Like I was just so bummed and so devastated by it. So I feel because I didn't pause to, you know, when I was reading 335, I didn't pause when I thought, you know, Jin-sung was dead. Like, I don't know. I think internally I was like, oh, like, he's not really gone. Like, I almost thought it was like hopeless thinking, because I'm like, there's no way like he would have survived that. There's no way he's still gonna be alive. But like, yeah, I don't know. Somehow deep inside I knew he was gonna be okay. So anyway, I guess we can talk about it now. So toward the end of the chapter, we do find out that he is still alive. She herself says that, Mashini does, and she plans to keep him around for a little bit longer, which, like I said about the previous chapter, like I don't know what her intentions are. It's like, I don't know if she's on his side, if she's just using him, like what the heck is going on. So, you know, I guess maybe later on in the story we'll find out what's going on with that, but, you know, it's a mystery. So that's why it's like I can't fully trust Mashini, but I still want to. And it's kind of a conflicting battle there. And then of course Yuri shows up to where Karaka and Caliban and Vankel are, and she called him Tin Can, which I just love that nickname that she gives him. Like, I'm pretty sure she's called him that before. It's just been a while since that's happened, so I don't know. It was just like a little bit of humor thrown in there by SIU. You know, it helps balance out my hate that I was feeling in the previous two chapters. So I'm like, okay, throwing a little comedy into there. That's good. That keeps me happy. But more importantly, what I wanted to talk about this scene with Evankel, Karaka, and Yuri is that, dude, those three are like a powerhouse together, and them facing off against Caliban is giving me life. I'm like, dude, this will be like the perfect trio to take them down, and I am going to love every minute of it. Of course, that's not what happens, sadly, but, you know, it's still cool to see these three facing off against him. And then, speaking of humor, White in this chapter was so hilarious. Okay, I have to find this scene because this, like, made me smile. This made the chapter for me, I think. At least in the humor aspect of it. You know, lighten up the mood a little bit, you know, with all that's going on. And I'm sorry I haven't been doing very many voices. I mean, you know, I was just only reading like little segments of the things, but I'll see what I can do with White here. I don't even know what voice to give him. I don't even know if I should try and be funny. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but so far the videos that I've posted of the DRV3 thing that my guy bestie and I did, I mean, it was such a hoot just watching my guy bestie just give these characters all these like funny voices. And, you know, like, I'm like more the serious side. I think you have to balance that. Like when you're like co-hosting something, or like you're, I guess co-hosting, I can't think of another term. But when you're co-hosting something, it's like there's always got to be the one person who's like more on the serious side, and then like the other one who's like more wacky. I think that's the kind of chemistry that my guy bestie and I had on those videos. So they're worth checking out, I think. But that's just me trying to amp it up, get it some more views. Because I posted it at the worst time of day also. I posted it at like 10 p.m. Mountain time. So, I mean, everyone's probably like asleep by then because they have work the next morning. So it wasn't very smart posting it at that hour, but it's all good. I mean, so far 2 parts have been posted, but parts 3 and 4 are on the way. So I'm thinking more early next week rather than later this week, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, part 3 was my absolute favorite. There were 2 characters in there that my guy bestie, he gave them the best voices. I was laughing. Like, you know, I had sent him samples when I was doing some editing for it too. And like I even like laughed still. It was just too much. It was too funny. But anyway, back with White here. You're all charging at us? I'll take you out in one hit. Hey, stop it. You'll knock yourself out again. Okay, so then White style, spirit sword, incinerating. Okay, Sharon's like, watch out, everyone. Okay, shooting star is the other name of the move. Or maybe it's two different moves. Anyway. We then come back to White, who's all like, damn it! I didn't expect that bastard to come. Of course, he's referencing to Lil Papillon. And then, of course, the sister's all like, you idiot. What are you going to do now? You're all out of power. So I just loved that scene. I guess I didn't make it too funny. I don't know. But, yeah, like I said, it provided a perfect balance for what's going on and all that. And then, when, Elpathion mentions Enacor, because White is like, oh shit, I'm screwed, like, I can't attack these people anymore, like, and of course, it's a big group of people. I mean, he's not going to stand much of a chance against these people when all his power is gone, so suddenly he is, taken away, he, like, vanishes before them, and so Elpathion's like, oh, Enacor, and I was just like, oh, I was like, my boy is back, Kun is back, somehow, I don't know, it doesn't make sense. But then it turns out it was actually Evan, who I forgot was the, of course, original user of Enacor. Of course, he's the one who taught Kun about Enacor, but anyway, or taught him Enacor. Okay, anyway. Evan saved the day, which I'm like, hey, yay! Like, it's another character that I love, so I'm cool with it. I'm cool. Alright, and then another thing, which you guys can clear up for me, because I feel like I may have misread this. I'll go ahead and read it out loud. But I was kind of confused. Alright, so, Lee, Dad, I guess we can call him Dad Lee. I'm not gonna call him Daddy. That title's reserved for Kun and his father. But anyway, Dad Lee here is like, what are you people doing in my station? I should give him a different voice. What are you people doing in my station? This is no place for troublemakers like you. This is a place for regulars to rest from competing. And then the girl, So Young, I remember her name is So Young. And then the brother is Soa, but I don't remember the freaking dad's name. But anyway, So Young is like, this is supposed to be, Father, this is supposed to be a utopia for regulars. Isn't it our duty to stand up to the authorities to welcome and hide them? And then the dad's like, shut up. You know nothing. I took you in because you were fugitives who were overpowered in the tower's competition. I let you in because I heard you ran away from a fight and went into hiding while the others went on fighting. Then you cleared the train. You know, I was also crippled when I lost the competition in the train. I thought you might be able to rule the station because you were like me. How could you cause a problem like this without even considering how I feel? And then So Young is shocked with what he's saying. And then he continues, I should have never let you in here. Oh well, all these problems will be solved once I push this button away. The station will go back to being a peaceful utopia. So, based on what he said, okay, and especially if So Young is reacting in the way that she did, is he basically saying that she and her brother are not his kids? Because that's what I gathered from what I read just now. And I don't know if I'm right. I don't know if I'm wrong. And so that's why I welcome you guys to comment. As I always do. I always encourage your guys' comments. I love to hear your guys' thoughts, your theories. But yeah, please clear this up for me because I am a bit confused. It may be the translation as well. I don't know. I don't think it would be, but yeah. So that's a plot twist right there. Because the kids kind of look like him though. So I'm confused. But yeah, so if they aren't his kids, I mean, that's kind of a random plot twist, but okay, like, you know, now he's even more of an asshole for, you know, saying those things to So Young and it shocking her that way, impacting her as it did. But yeah, I mean, what he's saying just doesn't make sense at all, because I'm like, dude, how would it become a peaceful utopia if you set off the bomb? If the bomb is powerful enough to take out everyone, yeah, the peaceful utopia that you seek would be reached because everyone would be dead and everything would be, like, silent and quiet. But I don't think that's the kind of peaceful utopia you'd want. And so then, right in the nick of time, she shows up. A character that we haven't seen for, like, I don't even know, hundreds of chapters. But anyway, first we see a wolf, and then we see, of course, Kaiser. We haven't seen her, like I said, in a bajillion years, to exaggerate. But, yeah, so I'm just like, whoa, like, how'd she find out? And, you know, she came to save the day in the nick of time. Or, you know, that's what I had thought. Because then I have another question for you guys. Because, the explosion that took place seemed to be from where they were at. So I'm assuming Dad Lee actually did set off the bomb, regardless of Kaiser showing up to try and prevent that from happening. So again, correct me if I'm wrong. That's what I interpreted. I'm not sure if that is correct. But yeah, so I'm like, well, shit, so much for that. And I'm like, I don't think she's gonna die that easily. If the explosion did happen in that area, like I said, I don't think she would die that easily. To be honest, she just got here, so I think it'd be kind of dumb for her to be killed off like that. So I don't know. Maybe she still saved the day. Maybe she was still able to get them out of there or something, and then, like, the dad was just still gone crazy and he set off the bomb anyway, but, like, everyone was out of that area before he could do it, I guess. I don't know. I'm guessing next chapter we'll probably get a better explanation of what happened. You know, especially if the bomb did set off and, like I said, Kaiser was able to help them get out of there before the dude just went crazy and set it off. But anyway, I'm just kind of repeating myself. So, let's go ahead and finish this up. So, shout out to Ship Lisu, who showed up in time to go get Bomb, retrieve him, right? So it's like, hey, he's back. It's like all these characters are coming back for this chapter. Which, to me, I'm gonna jump ahead for a little bit, because I did have one more point to make, but I'm just gonna go ahead and go for it now with the final point that I wanted to make. This chapter, to me, seemed like the ideal ender for both the Caliban arc and just the season in general. Like, I'm hoping that SIU takes a break next week, and I hope it's a long break, a long hiatus before, you know, he starts season 3. Because I think it's about time that we dive into season 3. You know, I think we're pretty much done here. Or at least, you know, if it's not going to lead into a next season, then, you know, it would still be a great ending to the arc, because, like, all these characters just, like, came back all of a sudden. And, you know, we'll see what happens with Caliban, too. So, I mean, if we're gonna move on to other characters and other things are happening, it shouldn't be called Caliban's arc anymore, right? But anyway, yeah, like, speaking of hiatuses and stuff, I thought it was really weird that he took a break last week, because I had made a post on, like, Twitter and my other social media, and I was like, oh, hey guys, like, sorry I couldn't do a review last week because I was sick, but then I was gonna make it up to you, like, tenfold this week. And then someone had replied to me and was like, oh, hey, like, there was no chapter this week, and I was like, oh, that's weird. And then, like, this, like, amazing chapter happens, and I'm like, why was there a week break? Like, this should have been last week's chapter, and then, like, this week would have been a break. I think that would have been ideal, but, you know, SIU knows what he's doing. I'm not gonna question what he's doing at all. Alright, and then the last thing I'm gonna go ahead and read. It's basically the block text that took place, like, at the end. That's why I'm saying, like, this is another reason as to why I think that this should be the chapter that ends the arc, and potentially the season, but you know, we'll see. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and read this. I'm assuming that's what I was going to say also. I was going to assume that it was Kaiser speaking, because I feel like she would be the perfect middle person to be narrating this, these blocks of text. So, historically speaking, most of the people who ruled in the past thought they needed to clear the way to usher in a new era, or they had to protect their era for a new one to begin. But in fact, new eras are as natural as the rising tide. No matter what obstacles or barriers they encounter, they pioneer their own trails and protect each other. Okay, and then there's a block text that's Baum, and it's like that voice, but I don't think Baum's the one like narrating these blocks of text. It's got to be someone from the outside. They all come together to form one massive tangled wave and create their own era. The tidal wave of a new era will swallow you arrogant people up quicker than you think. So see, I think because like at the end we see Mashini, and then of course we saw Baum, we saw Ship and Co, like Hatsu's there, and then oh god, what's her name? It's not Viper, but you guys know who I'm talking about. I'll just include an image. And then of course Calivan. I mean, Calivan wouldn't be narrating that. And then Hansung and Drosy. I mean, and then there's like Jinsung's cigarette there. So I don't think that Baum would be narrating it, and I think it would be someone on the outside, and because they showed all these characters, it's like, I don't know why I think it would be Kaiser. It's really weird, especially, you know, if she was caught up in that explosion. I mean, I don't know if she'd be narrating this, or this is probably just like some generic or in general narration, but I don't know. I think someone's behind it, and I think Kaiser would be like the ideal candidate for it. But yeah, I mean, just the, like, what was expressed and all that, too. I'm like, ooh, like, talking about new era, I'm like, that to me seems like, okay, this is the end of the arc, potentially end of the season, and then we'll move on to, like, new things. So that is it for my review. I will just leave it at that. So, like I said before, please leave your guys' comments and theories below, and then I look forward to seeing your guys' answers to my questions, because, yeah, I'm confused as to whether or not those are really Dad Lee's kids, and, you know, if he did set off the bomb. So, but yeah, so that's it for our 3-chapter review of Tower of God this week, and thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for your patience. I know it's been a while since I've been away, but I am back, and I will be back next week as well. That is a promise. All right, thanks guys so much, and catch you next time. Peace.